Ladies and gentlemen, I did a segment on the Supreme Court allowing Trump to run in 2024. There's a case that the Supreme Court is looking at and reviewing pertaining to the 14th Amendment, Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. Please watch that segment prior to this one. Now there are individual challenges in states, state-level challenges. Colorado will allow Trump to run in 24. All of these attempts at banning Trump are so absurd and ridiculous. And they rely on the apoplectic notion that Trump tried to overthrow the country, that he engaged in a rebellion. Nothing of the sort took place that fateful day in January. It was a terrible day that was chaotic, definitely horrible day. But there were many horrible days throughout that entire summer of $1 to $2 billion plus in property damage. Now, you can hide behind the very weak argument that, well, it wasn't anyone's specific fault, and Democrats didn't lead the charge to create property damage, and it was for a noble cause. Yes, I agree with why people peacefully demonstrated, but you had an entire summer of billions in property damage, and people of color lost businesses too. All Americans of every background lost livelihood in businesses and had to file insurance claims. It was $1 to $2 billion plus in insured property damage, and there were billions in uninsured property damage linked to left-leaning movements. This is a fact. Okay, the media, Democrats, Kinzinger and Cheney never shed a tear. The 19 lives lost that a chaotic summer where there was complete breakdown in society and law. You had law enforcement agencies that weren't able to do anything really, as people just ran. There was just rampant property destruction everywhere. And again, I agree with why people demonstrated peacefully. Whether it's 90% or 99% of people who demonstrated peacefully, whether it's 1% or 5% or 10%, it really doesn't matter the percentages of who engaged in unlawful conduct that summer. January, that fateful day with Trump, did not result in $1 to $2 billion in property damage. Okay? Nor did he try to overthrow or rebel against any country. Now, the same cannot really be said that summer for a number of reasons. Okay? Especially with the immense damage in terms of property and insurance claims. And so you look at the double standard, it's unbelievable. And there were attempts at trying to actually forcibly remove Trump in May from the White House, and that was also chaotic. And law enforcement officials in government at government centers throughout the country, including D.C., were injured against demonstrators who leaned left in terms of ideology. Again, not pointing to any specific organization. Hit subscribe to this channel right now, ladies and gentlemen. To read my writing in The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, The Jerusalem Post, The Federalist, and other publications, go to hagoodman.com. But ladies and gentlemen, what you have here is an absurd leap of logic. So what happens is Colorado has been sued to bar Trump from the ballot. Here's why. And then it says if the Constitution disqualifies the former president, we have to uphold the Constitution. The Constitution does not disqualify Trump. He did not commit a rebellion. He did not engage in, nor did he foment or further any rebellion. It was a chaotic, terrible day. We had that day replayed for us every day that summer. Again, it's unbelievable. Like, even if, like, yes, I agree with why people peacefully demonstrated. Okay, but I didn't see left-leaning pundits. Where were the left-leaning pundits on YouTube with 1 million to 4 million subs on the left? Where were they that summer? Where is the GoPro or the video of them peacefully demonstrating? Okay, where is the GoPro or the video, or where is there any record? Pick your favorite left-leaning pundit. Doesn't matter what color hair they have. If they have hair, it doesn't matter how old they are. Just pick. It's 1 million sub to 4 million sub channels. Where were they that summer? You better believe they were nowhere to be found on any of the demonstrations, peaceful or not peaceful, because it's a complete racket. To the left of center is a complete racket. They make absurd leaps of logic. It is not a You would have to make the most absurd leap of logic in Colorado or in DC or anywhere, okay, to think that Trump tried to overthrow the United States government, okay, especially when the Federal Bureau of Investigation found no evidence of any coordinated attempt to do anything. So you have tens of billions of dollars. You don't even, this is why you should hit subscribe to this channel right now. Use basic logic. You don't have to like Trump. You don't have to agree with him on anything. You could just think he's, oh my God, the reincarnation of whatever. You could think he's Satan's spawn, but he didn't try to overthrow the government. This is a cheap, sad, pathetic political attempt at banning somebody that you know can defeat you because he defeated Clinton and Democrats in 2016. Okay, and I think that what'll happen, ladies and gentlemen, I think that what'll happen is that Hillary will be the 24 nominee. I really do. I really do. But you have a situation, ladies and gentlemen, where um, where groups in Colorado filed. Okay, so Colorado a group aims to remove Trump from 24 ballot using 14th Amendment clause. They're so petrified and frightened of Trump. This is what they do. This is what Democrats and people who despise Trump do all the time. They say that he's a buffoon, that he's a menace, that he's terrible and horrible. Then they say, no, 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 he can't be on the ballot. Well, why not? Because you know he can defeat you. You know that half the country is not going to care about apoplectic sensibilities that make absurd leaps of logic. It is a leap of logic to say that he committed a rebellion. He did not, and the I word I won't even use. Okay, that it's what didn't even fall within the purview or within the legal definition. Okay, you had people walking calmly through that building. You saw the Tucker Carlson video evidence. One person, the man who was dressed funny, linked to an absurd message board nonsense. He was his prison sentence was he was basically acquitted. Okay, so he's now not in prison anymore because he was literally being escorted around the building. So you did not have people armed trying to foment some kind of rebellion. It's really like it is so absurd that you could be in this world in 2024 with all the video evidence. It's like the more video we see, the less people can see the truth. It's unbelievable. You saw what happened throughout that entire summer. You saw what happened that fateful day, terrible day in January. How you delineate between an entire summer of billions in property damage and one day is beyond me, but it's like the same thing when Bill Clinton or Joe Biden are accused. Oh my God, you go after the person alleging they committed heinous crimes. When Trump is accused, oh, well, more people, so therefore, but there's more incentive to go after Trump. You're a media darling. So, I mean, you could look at things in a variety of different ways. There's no on the left. What Democrats do is they stand atop these alleged virtues. That's where they signal and they level their condemnation from. They don't have. There's no virtue. There's no really. I mean, you could look at the environment. They say, "Oh my God, the planet." And Biden releases 200 million barrels of strategic petroleum reserves. Then they say, "Oh, that's whataboutism." It's like, yeah, it's called hypocrisy. It's actually called hypocrisy. You cannot, if you're eating a ham sandwich with a milkshake and you're claiming to be a vegan and somebody calls you out on it, the response shouldn't be, oh, well, that's whataboutism. It should be, oh, okay, I guess you're not a vegan. I guess you're eating a ham sandwich with a milkshake, and so you're probably not a vegan, okay, or vegetarian or whatever. The point is, Democrats claim to care about all these virtues, and then when they commit worse crimes or atrocities, or, crimes, I should say, or they're a part of billions in property damage, they just say, well, you can't pin it on us. Oh, yes, you can. You can look at words from specific Democrats saying they want to assault Trump, okay, and then make a direct link to that property damage, as opposed to Trump saying peacefully and patriotically he never told anyone to commit any crimes. Give me your thoughts below. That'll be struck down in Colorado also. Give me your thoughts. Thanks so very, very much.